Good to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. And I want to say good morning to our listeners. And I know it is exciting to be together with our listeners this morning. And like we like saying, tell your friend to tell your friend. It is that moment for Money Matters. And everybody is interested in money. And so we'll have a discussion. My name is Wahome Ngare. I'm the founder of the Personal Finance Academy. I'm a financial literacy coach, and my work is easier just to empower people so that they can grow better with their money, and that way they are going to avoid running the rat race. And we do this through financial literacy programs. We have a very good website, www.pfa.co.ke, where somebody can get much more information, and I'll be telling them about our academic programs later in this program. But this morning we want to get into the discussion. It is a good time to have this discussion.
Sure.
It is the 5 most common money traps to avoid this financial festive season. We're in the festive season. 2024 is actually giving us what we call a march past. In military parade, where they're just passing the dice, it's called a march past. That's what it is doing to us. It's there. It's over. We're just counting a few days.
Yeah.
And we thank God that it's over. And sometimes we hopefully it's over with its challenges, because it's come with a fair share of challenges.
We hope for the best.
Gen Z protests were this year, brought out something very ugly: abductions, disappearances. We know people have suffered job losses, business closure. We've had the returned sadaka, things that we're not used to before.
It has been quite an event.
It's a very, very serious political quarrels.
Yeah.
And we're hoping this year will go with all those things. We know floods, we had floods somewhere. But there has been a fair share of good things. I think we've got very good weather. We have very good farm produce. That's why the cost of food has gone down. And I'm sure for each of us, we have had a good number of wins. I don't know for you, our listener, what's yours? What has been your win this 2024, even as we wish it away? I know the school holidays are on. All the little ones are home until January. And I don't know what they're doing. And last time we said, teach them some money lessons while they're at home. I don't know what lessons they're doing. But as you do that, please pay their fee. Don't wait for the celebrations. Pay their fee first before we are able to get there. And this is the holiday season. I know there are many things we are doing. This is time for travel, a lot of shopping, visiting people here and there, even giving others and getting moments of joy. But we must always remember, Christ is the reason for this season.
True.
We should never forget that. It is very, very important for us to remember. So I think that's a good place to start before now we get into the discussion of the day.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Wahome, for that. And I like the way you're noting so many notable things that happened in 2024, and now we are almost counting it away. We're counting down it to the new year, but it is too early to say that. But it has been quite an eventful year, and we thank God. And I love the fact that you've also pointed out some positive things, the wins that we had this year. Really, really important to acknowledge them. So today we are looking into an interesting topic. The way Mr. Wahome said, we're looking into the common traps that we get into during any festive season, and especially this festive season that we are almost there. It is the 10th day. So basically we are counting down to 10 more days, and we are there at the climax of the season where we go on shopping sprees, and right now we're making those mipango. But like Mr. Ome said, please pay the fee because January is here also. Let us not forget that. So those are the things that we're going to discuss today in our Money Matters segment. So Mr. Wahome, I think we can start. I am so keen to listen to these 5 common mistakes and money traps that we experience during this festive season.
Yes, like you said, the festive season is here. The malls tend to remind us very, very fast. We see the shops have gotten in there. Everybody's there. Just before we get there, it's good to have a recap. Last time we talked about personal self-care in our Money Matters. And we said there were 5 actions we need to do. And the first action was to reflect on our past. We need to look back and see what are the money lessons we learned that don't work for us, that we need to drop. What did we learn that helps us? In fact, one way of reflecting, we've come to the end of the year. It's easier to look at 2024 and say, these are the things I did, they didn't work for me. So reflection is very important. The second step, we said, let your goals inform your habits. So set your goals so that they inform your habits. This is a perfect time to set goals. We have what we call resolutions. I can call them goals. Once you set the resolutions, next year they will focus what your money habits are going to be. Number 3, we say track your spending. Just be sure where if you want to do self-care, just answer this question: where did my money go? So that the question of I don't know where my money went is going to come to an end. And step number 4 was saying you prioritize your savings. Make it important. As you prioritize your savings, please ensure you have an emergency fund, a contingency fund, a safety net, just to deal with financial emergencies, just to avoid disruption. And we said action number 5, especially if you are an employee, take advantage of employee benefits if you have an employer. If you're given a mortgage at a subsidized rate, consider taking it. If you have a medical scheme and you want to up it, whatever benefit you have, if you take those 5 steps, you're doing self-care, and I think things are going to be better. So today, let's get into the discussion. We're looking at the 5 most common money traps to avoid during this festive season. And essentially what you're saying is this is a shopping season. We need to be smart shoppers, because it is in shopping that your personality comes alive. There are people who buy until they almost drop dead because they get a thrill when they buy. There are other people who want to buy because they have people around them who are encouraging them to buy. And so we're saying, because this is an area that has been studied very well, and consumer psychology is known, buyer behavior is known, and everybody knows, and they make it easier for you to do shopping. Whether it's our hawkers, just see how they have everything you require. Or you should go to a place like where Machakos bus stop when people are traveling, and you can see they have everything you need for your travel. The market women know this is the time, Kate and our friends need kitenge. Families are meeting and they have it ready. The supermarkets, they have done whatever it takes. They made it smart. The malls, because in fact now data science is in place just to make sure that we actually get to spend the money. So the 5 most common money traps that you're going to be. The first one is saying don't be induced into impulse buying. It is very easy now to get induced into impulse buying. Number 2, don't be tempted to buy in a hurry. If anybody is pushing you to buy in a hurry, that's a trap they're getting there. Now, number 3 is the way the shopping space is being laid out. That's a trap in itself. And you're going to see, why are they laying the shopping spaces like that? They're putting in a very good trap. Number 4 is pester power. And we want to understand, what is that pester power? Then how does it work for us? And number 5 is the power of others. The power of others. Then there are 2 portions of it: other people's opinion and the fear of missing out. Those are the 5 traps, very common this season. Let's start looking at them one by one. We said avoid impulse buying. This is falling in temptation. You buy things you have not planned for. You don't really need. You often cannot even afford, and they take a lot of your money. You did not plan for them. You have just seen them and you like. And because we all have a human greed inside us, and that human greed always tells you there's a deal, there's a better deal. Oh, it's never going to come again. You take it now. And we find ourselves there. It becomes a cash drain. It makes it difficult for us to save the money. And so sometimes we are not able to sell on essentials. Or if you walk to town now, the shoes will be calling you by name. They know you from a distance. Oh, there's something called a Sunshine Boutique. I don't know if you've ever seen the Sunshine Boutique. The clothes are laid out like, this one has my figure and my shape. This one is totally mine.
It's my size.
Yeah, and it's all over. It's a hawkers. It is everybody who's telling you it's 50% off. It's the annual sale, buy one get one free. Hanging out in the mall. All those things will get us into impulse buying. This is the time we have to be deliberate. We might want to vote with our feet. So there are places we are going to avoid. Because if you go there, you just hang out on the mall. Just leave Mass on Sunday, just go hang out in a mall. And you'll be surprised the things you're going to buy. Just keep talking to all the hawkers and all the market women. And you're going to find yourself buying a lot of things. So it is more of the mind now than the heart. We must silence the heart a bit. We must deal with the mind. We might want to avoid being too liquid. If you carry too much money on you, whether it is in cash, whether it is in pesa, whether you're able to access your bank account, trust me, you will be tempted. The temptations are all over. So you have to avoid some places, you have to avoid some people, because that's how you're going to be. That thing called impulse buying, it's big now. The supermarkets are so laid out so that you can actually be able to buy. The shopping malls are laid out. Every shop you go to, somebody is happy to give you a deal this season. All those deals, you must know they are costed properly. So trap number one, avoid impulse buying. Be on plan. Focus before you go and buy. Ask yourself, what do I need? Yes, I'm not saying you will see something you have not seen before, and you must give yourself a bit of what? Maybe an allowance, some miscellaneous, but it cannot be everything that we get to see. The second thing, the second trap, is when you get yourself buying in a hurry. Any place where you find yourself buying and especially the bigger budget items, we're saying do comparison shopping. It's very, very helpful when you're buying bigger things, big budget items. You don't just take the first offer. You need to go out and shop. If somebody is saying, okay, let's buy a car, just walk to a car yard. And the salesman will just ask you a few questions. You will describe what you're looking for. And they have always got an interesting story. There are only two. This one was bought yesterday, and they are picking it today. So it is only this other one that's remaining, and somebody is going to place a deposit in the afternoon. But if you place a deposit now, we reserve it for you. Can you see how they have constrained you? You have only between now and the afternoon to raise the deposit. Now, when this is how things are done. Whether it is the car, whether it is the house, whether you're buying a plot, whether you're buying work equipment, even when you're looking for college or schools, this is the same thing. Furniture, electronics. Those who are buying a cow or a pig or a dog or office space or rental, it is the same thing. The seller creates an imaginary scarcity. When they create that scarcity, they force you to act quickly while stocks last. And you will hear this word. It's a season offer. It is only available now during this season. Yeah, season, and there are just a few remaining. You're just a lucky one.
They're out of stock.
Now, those are traps. Those are nice traps. So take time to compare prices when you're buying the bigger things. Take time. Be more deliberate. Yes, I'm not saying you don't buy. You need it, but don't just buy from the first vendor. Try online. Try walking down the street. If you buy in a hurry, you're in a trap. Anything you find yourself buying in a hurry, and everybody knows this trick. I want you to watch the street vendors when they're selling stuff. They don't put everything on top. They put it beneath the table. And they put just a few so that you can see, there are only 2 sweaters. If I don't buy, Itaisha. Now, after you buy, they bring in a few others on top. That's the way it works all the time. So it is not accidental. It is something that has been studied. It works. When you create scarcity, you force people to act quickly. When you're acting quickly, you will not be asking for bargain. You will actually be bringing in the money now. If you find yourself buying in a hurry, you're falling into a trap. So that's a trap we need to avoid. Yes.
And we like that, especially because we are last minute people. So the moment you're told they're actually out of stock, this is the last stock that you're having, you remove everything. You give even you become the highest bidder.
Who say the factory is closing? Where they were manufacturing them? Who say the production line is not working? So why is it the end of the season? We pray to God that 2025 will follow 2024. So there will still be more time to come. So it cannot be the last one. So very, very important 2 things. We avoid impulse buying and we avoid buying stuff in a hurry. Those are 2 traps. If you get caught up in those 2 traps, you will have a big challenge. Let's see the third trap that's common. And this is somehow about how what we call the shopper snares, the snares that are laid out. And most shops, and especially the supermarket, they are set out by experts. It's not an accident. They bring in somebody who has studied consumer psychology, who knows buyer behavior, and that's why using data science. And you're going to see a few things that tell you it is not accidental. If you walked into the supermarket to buy bread or milk, it's never kept at the entrance. It is kept right deep inside. So and that means you will have a tour.
Yes.
And as you have your tour, you will feast your eyes and your heart will say, this is not bad for me. And eventually, even when you're coming out on the queue as you're waiting for the next person, that's why they keep the sweets and the chocolates. Those are easier and appealing. It is not accidental that the things are laid out like that. They know how to keep you there longer. That's important. The longer you stay, the more you buy. And you're going to see a couple of shops. The way they have been designed, once you enter, you don't leave on that door. In fact, they tell you this is the entry, this is the exit. But between the entry and the exit is not a direct route.
No.
You will have to go around. So they must keep you in. The more you are kept in, the more you buy. How do they keep you in? They have found the formula. Just listen to how Christmas music will be flowing in. Very nice music. Easier, nice for your ear. Just look at the decorations. The place looks fantastic. Look at the spacing. You're not congested. There's enough space for you to be able to go. Look at the lighting. There's always good lighting. Don't they even bring merchandisers?
They do.
You know, the people will tell you, oh, this is good, this is on offer, all those things. And there's a whole layout that makes it easier. They make it convenient for the family to come. They don't want you to come alone. They want you to come as a family. Because when you come as a family, you have more eyes to see, you have more fingers to pick. It's that easier. Every one of them can do. In fact, when they have items for children, they don't put it on the top rank. They put it on the bottom one, so that the children can pick it themselves without anybody struggling. So they make it convenient for the family. They want more hands, more eyes to see, more hands to pick. You know, the father, the mother, the children, a relative. And they even make the trolley a car. You don't have to hang it on your hand and get tired. Now you just push it. So it doesn't tire you at all, you know. And for children, they know children can actually get uncomfortable and say they want to go. So they've made the trolley something that looks like a car. So you put your child over there, they got a steering wheel. They are happy to stay there much longer. They ensure that you are in unfamiliar grounds. And that is why after some time, you will find they will rearrange the whole place. Why do they rearrange the whole place? So that you're not familiar ground. So you are going in a hurry because you're looking for diapers. But when you land where you thought diapers were, you find toiletries. And your mind reminds you, oh, we also needed toilet. Oh, we have not seen this one. Let's change the one we had. As you're going around, you see something else. Oh, this corner is buy one, get one for free. Yeah, you see, the other corner, everything is 20% off. So they have a way of keeping you in familiar grounds, because when you are lost, you see more. When you see more, you are going to buy more. So, and that's why they will never keep milk and bread at the entrance. They will keep it back there. That's why they will keep rearranging the store. It's never consistent all the time. It's just a matter of time when you see they have rearranged it. So you are so used, you knew this is the place I go, I pick unga here, I pick something else here, and I leave. Next time when you go, where they used to keep that flour, it's not there, it's somewhere else. So they try all marketing traps and activate your person. They want the impulse in you. You know, that internal person who says, yeah, let's buy. So they want to get the stimuli working. And they got many ways of doing it. You know, all those merchandisers will generally be beautiful ladies, very well dressed. Because they are not bad to see. You know, you want to see them. They know men are visual. They want to see them. They have very bright colors, and they know ladies like brilliant things. When they say on sale, it's gonna be a brilliant yellow, it's gonna be a red, it's gonna be something like that. So, and they have, like I say, they have a friendly car for the trolley. You know, they have a place for children. They have soft music for you to relax. They want you to stay longer. They've actually even introduced a food corner. So you can actually enjoy your meal while you're still there. So you don't have to leave. You know, they have attractive decorations. There's a lot of ambience. And there's something called end of the line. You know, end of the line. Easy to normalize. This is the last one. Then those are the ones you say last. You said what? Just a few left. You know, because you can see it's the end of the line and there's a deal. Buy one, get one free. All those things are going to make you spend your money. So the answer might be found in preparing before we come to the shop. It means we must be deliberate. We must create a shopping list. When you make a shopping list, before you leave your house, before you come in, you are clear in your mind what you come to look for. And it's easier for you because you now have an idea, you thought through, so that now, one, you don't buy things you have in the house. It's very common to buy things we have in the house. So we actually stock them in the house. It's very common to buy things we had not even thought about just because we've seen. But when you have a shopping list, you have a bigger chance of winning. You'll most likely not buy what you already have at home. You will not miss what you need. And you will minimize your chance of following in temptations. So we can actually use, and you know, we were taught these lessons by our parents. We just ignored it. Anybody who went to boarding school, Shopping list is something they know like the back of their hand. Before school term opens, you said, I want this, I want this, I want. You were told, write them down. And you actually wrote them down. That document you made is what you're calling a shopping list. Those are the things you needed. And parents were always very kind. They would take the list and cross out a few things. Sugar, what are you guys cooking for yourselves? They draw out sugar. They don't understand code power and that story. And that shopping list became a big winner, that they actually got you the essentials, the necessities. And when you went to school, you didn't have a quarrel with the teachers because you brought only things that are legitimate. You did not miss the things you need, and that's why you're able to complete, and you did not buy things that are necessary. So personal discipline is a must. If you don't have a personal discipline, or getting attracted into these traps is a given. You will be caught in the traps, because if you don't prepare yourself, somebody else will prepare for you. If you don't tell your money where to go, somebody will tell the money where it needs to go. So that's another trap that we need to avoid. So we can go to the fourth one?
Yes.
Now, it's called pester power. And sometimes people don't understand this animal called the pester power. The insistence until you get some given outcomes. There are people who are gifted by God. They have this power. Children is one group of people who are gifted. They will insist until it gets done. Now, what most people don't appreciate is that when adverts are done, they are directed to children.
And they
because
in a childlike manner.
Yes, because children have this gift that they will insist until the parents do it. And you know what? 15% of all the things sold world over, it's because of the power of the children. They can persist, they can insist. Whether we are looking at ice cream. I mean, you didn't have a plan for buying ice cream. They've seen the ice cream guy. They will put you in a place that you have to buy that ice cream. We're looking at cakes. Oh, can you imagine cakes this holiday season? And how many cakes will be bought? We're looking at toys. A lot of toys are sold. Sometimes not because they need them. In fact, within a short time, if you buy the toy, they will destroy it. Yeah, but they have this feeling like they need to have it. Whether we are looking at clothing, you're looking at movies. In fact, if you're looking at cars and houses and school choices, children have a big power for deciding what school they're going to go. When you're looking at food, when you go into a restaurant, who sometimes orders the food you're going to eat? It's the children, yes. They choose the restaurant itself. They do not want to go to this one. They want to go to this one. They choose even the games that they have to play. And God in his own way gifted these guys, because there's even a pattern of how it works. The boy will get their way around the mother. Now, the girl will get their way around the father. It is called the Oedipus complex. Psychology have studied that thing. It works perfectly. There is no mother who wants to see the tears of the son. They feel like they are letting down the world. There is no father who wants to see the tears of their daughters. It is the apple of their eye. So they can't be rating the person who is close to their heart. And that way you find children have, in a way, learned it, that one child will throw the tantrum for the benefit of everybody. Okay? Now, that outward expression is what we are calling the pester power, that outward expression. And like you said, for young children, when they're very young, they'll cry. It's you to find out why they're crying, and they will tell you what they want. When they get slightly bigger, they start winning. They learn that habit of winning all the time. They're not happy. Now, when they're a bit bigger, they throw the tantrum. You've seen them rolling and turning, and it can be embarrassing. It can be very embarrassing. So how do you avoid the embarrassment? You give in quickly. Baba, tutanunua. Ni sawa tu. Tuende tuchukue. Yes. Now they have learned. If you do this, you get the results. It works very well. And they push it even when they are teenagers and young adults. Now, they will not throw a tantrum. It's going to look stupid. They will keep quiet. Nini? Hakuna. And you can see the person is not happy. And at that age, they are feeble. You do not want to push them too much. They scare. Sometimes they can harm themselves. So we find ourselves having to do this. And it grows even into adults. Have you had adults who bang tables, who bang doors, who shout at others? These are tantrums. They were built from childhood and they've gone all the way up. Somebody wanted to be bought something, it was not bought, they banged the door, or they banged the table. Now, that power is very powerful in the place of shopping. So, teenagers, you use it very well. What are they going to do? They have an affinity for branded expensive items. Or take a young teenager and tell them to pick a yogurt. You'll be surprised. They're going to pick that one that's 500 or 400, 500, while your budget might have been 100. Now, tell them to pick clothing. You'll be surprised. It is just the branded wear that is going to work for them. And this happens all the time. Well, if you tell them to pick a phone, oh, they will not do kababe. No, Katululu is not for them. It must be a smartphone. In fact, an iPhone. Yeah. The costing doesn't, clothing, all those things. So all those are different ways of pester power. Now, if you give in, you encourage them to know that they can eventually get their way by doing a tantrum, by doing a win. And so we're looking at the 10-year-old who's gone to the shop. It's a 10-year-old son. He's actually picked a toy car, and that toy car is going to be bought for 10,000. Now, if you're thinking of saving, that would have been an installment for their college fees. But how long does it even take them to destroy that car? Now, how do we deal with this? Because it is a reality that we have to. Now, what we need to do, and this is why it is important to agree in advance. What are we going to buy? What are we going to spend on? We have an agreement. There's a group of people where an agreement is not practical. You know, you're terrible 2, you're terrible 3. Those ones will change with the time. So those ones we say, if you really know they're going to trouble them, why don't you leave them at home? Just buy stuff, bring it to them. They'll be excited whatever you bring. They will not know what else you didn't buy. So they'll be happy with what you have bought. Now, the ones who are beyond there, when you're looking at your 5-year-old to your 10-year-old to your 14-year-old, that's a good army for shopping. Remember when we said comparative shopping? Those ones are excellent for that. If you agree with them and make it a game, if we do a saving, we're going to buy a pizza. You'll be surprised. The saving will be, they will go to that place, you know, where they keep unga. And there are so many brands and so many different prices. Within a very short time, they will tell you the difference. They will see it easily. When you go to where we have the, you know, the cooking oils, they can easily tell you, and they become a whole army for you. They will help you in the shopping, and this is going to make things much easier. If you do that, you're going to find that now they have become buddies with you. They are helping you. They are not working against you. So getting into an agreement, and if a tantrum is thrown, ignore it. What's the worst that can happen? Parents give in so easily. Let them roll, let them spin. The best you're going to do is to wash the clothes. Because
so
yes, that embarrassment is what now we are facing as adults. What do you do with your adult person when they bang the door or they bang the table?
You leave them.
Yeah, so why did you allow it to grow there? Show them when they are young that banging the table, banging the door will never get into anything. Throwing a tantrum is not a solution. Okay, we have to be logical. We have to look at it and see what we agree. Now, for teenagers, you know, make it easier for them. If you organize their security, give them the money, let them go and do the shopping themselves. You'll be surprised how they do shopping when it is them having the money. They will bargain in any language, both spoken and unspoken. And they will buy things. You will find they will give you more value when they have bought the stuff for themselves than you struggling to do them. So we said for your toddlers, your terrible 2, we call them terrible 2 and terrible 3 with love. It is just that they forget things quickly. You told them, let's not do this, okay? Now you leave them at home, you agree. Because you remember there's no schooling for parenting.
You learn.
You learn as you go. So, and you expected to train others on money matters. What a big opportunity as you tame Pester Power to train others on money matters. Because it's very easy for your young teenagers. You can actually tell them we're spending 5,000. This is the money. Okay, guys, organize the shopping. Make sure the shopping list fits this money. There's no more money. They will actually work with that money. They will actually say, let's leave this one, let's buy this one. Until there's a balance. But when you show them that the ATM on the wall can actually give you money, they will just say, go back to the ATM. Now they have learned it's not just the ATM. In fact, the supermarket can just swipe your card. So you don't even to look for money. They can loan you money. You can Fuliza or whatever. When they learn that, the source is endless. But if you don't tame that, that's a huge trap this season, because the things that are being sold are not directed at parents. They are directed at children. And the win is going to be very, very big. Just go with children in traffic. Open all the windows. Let the hawkers come. They will be given different items. You can only answer one question. Ningapi? trying to return them, you're going to have war in the car. You're going to have a lot of trouble. And so why do we get ourselves into that trouble? We need to actually start helping them to understand that there are limits. But again, we are adults. Sometimes we show them, you can just do it. You can splash it. If you see ice cream, you hadn't thought about it, well, let ice cream. Once we show them that, then why do we expect them to behave any different? That's how they are going to behave. So that's a very, very important one. And it is something that we really need to take care of. That trap.
Sure. Especially for the age difference, it's good that you've given us ideas on how to navigate from the smallest one to the teen one, and save money at the end of the day, and also stick at the budget, because sometimes, like you're saying, Mr. Ahome, we get to the market and then we let them control us. We pick their favorite brands, and by the end you realize it. Your money is not even enough to buy a quarter of what you wanted to buy.
You're the same person paying school fees in January. They're not aware. You're paying fare for the holiday. You're paying all those things. We are not saying don't give it to them, no. Yeah. But let's be organized how we're going to give it. Don't be mean to them. Remember, if you're a parent, you're the only parent. Now, you can't be leaving them to look at other parents who are not their parents. We must take responsibility, but in an organized way.
In an organized way. I think that is the key word. And also, we are training them for tomorrow also, for them to know how to budget, and that you cannot not always get everything that you want at that particular moment. We can get others some time back. Now we are going to point number 5, and you say the power of others.
It is called the power of others, and there are 2 portions of it: other people's opinion and the fear of missing out. Now, this is what we call peer influence.
Yeah.
Okay? You want to keep up with the Kabaus. We want to keep up with the Otieno's. We live in a very competitive society. You do not want to be left behind by the guys you went to school with, by your neighbors, by your siblings. I mean, when you see the way your siblings are dressing, or you don't want to be left behind, you want to be there. And there are many times when we spend money that we do not have. We buy things that we don't need to impress people who don't even notice. That sounds very ugly.
People who don't even notice.
We spend money we don't have. We buy things we do not need to impress people who do not even notice. It could be the holiday trip we took. It could be the car we bought. It could be the estate we live in. It could actually be the school the children we're taking to. It could be the place we eat out every now and then. The phone we bought, the dressing outfit, the accessories, the furniture. It could be anything: carpet, music, TV, all those things that we are doing. It could actually be the parties that we hold. The Harambee contributions on the list. You are in, what is it called? A WhatsApp group. And you want to make the biggest contribution. And nobody is actually even noticing what we are doing. So there are times when we are doing the trip because other people have an opinion. If people are going to Dubai, nyinyi mutaachwa aje? So what do? We borrow and take the trip. There are times when we fear missing out. All our friends have taken children to group of schools. They've gone to the British curriculum, and we actually keep going there. That quest of following what others are doing or listening to them, and people have always got a way of pushing it. You got a nice phone. It can do all the things you want. They can send money. You can receive money. You can make a call. And somebody in the office just says, Mkebe Anani. How do you call my phone Mkebe? They are pressurizing you. The next thing you think is upgrading, isn't it? Yes. You bought yourself a nice car. You put it in the parking lot. And people say, Hako kadudu ni kanani? How do you call my car kadudu? And these things are common. You bought yourself a nice dress and you thought that dress was wow.
Best, yeah.
And people are saying, Kwani, what is this? No, that pressure is something that we always have here. And we always say, when the dove flies with the crows, the feathers will remain white, but the heart is black. It is, show me your friends, I'll tell you the type of person you are. And that's for real. We're in a competitive place. People push you to do things the way they would want it done. They come to your house and they are looking at your carpet in a manner like it to suggest you need to change it, And sometimes, we fall into that thing. We always say, set your goals, focus on your goals. People will still talk, by the way. They will never stop talking. Forget the noise, forget the comments, forget, the way politicians will say, macho ya chura. Yazui ng'ombe kunywa maji. Yeah. And sometimes we say, choose your friends. Choose your friends. There are people you drop because now you look at their value. They're always criticizing what you do. They're always challenging you, and they're not adding value. They're not even giving new ideas. The last time you had an idea, you can't remember. You do a hairdo, they criticize it. You tell them where you started an investment, they criticize it. You tell them you want your children to stay in that school. Now, those are the friends to drop. There's a man, I think was a good Christian teacher, the late Dr. Miles Monroe. He used to actually say some people are like meat. When meat is fresh, it's nice. If you keep it for long, it sticks. There are people who are stinking around you, and the best thing is just to drop them because they are giving you problems. As you're saying, there are people you can never drop. You can't drop family, and family sometimes give you a lot of pressure. Oh, children, they are gifted again here. Hey, ati dadi, watu wanaenda holiday Malindi, sisi tutaenda. That's already the pressure that they are putting to you. Now, how do you answer to them that all their friends are going and them they are not going? Sometimes it's the spouse. You're gone for mass and a friend didn't show up, and you say, let's go and see what they are doing. And you actually see somebody's admiring the seats. Practically they're saying, Ata Sisi, we need to upgrade. All those things will happen all the time. And we say in life, you are a child of the universe. This, I think, was a poem or document we used to read. I'm sure it's still there. It's called the Desiderata. Now, it says you must accept there will always be people greater than you. There will be always people lesser than you. It's good to accept. You cannot be at the very top. You're not at the very bottom. We say, walk your journey, and you walk at your pace. Just maybe work out your net worth statement. See how much are you worth this year, and see how much you can be in the year to come. Set your financial goals, follow them through. And this is why this is an important lesson that we teach in the masterclass. In fact, tonight, that's the lesson we're helping people to look at. How do you set your milestones that you're going to do? Because if you do those things, these traps we have talked about, you are not going to get caught into those traps. You will not find yourself doing impulse buying. You learn to do comparison shopping. You are not going to fall with the layout of the shopping spaces, whatever they do. You will not be suffering from pester power, and even the peer influence is not going to be a big problem. And that is why we say, as we come to the end of the discussion, we might need to purpose 2025 to build our financial capacity.
Sure.
We want to build our financial intelligence, our ability to handle money and money issues with confidence, and that's why we have to engage in proven financial literacy programs. If my listener just ask you a few questions, or do you want to earn more money by increasing your income streams? You want to earn more money, you want to increase your income streams, or do you want to be better money manager? Are you happy with how you're managing? Would you want to be better? Or do you want to own a home? Or do you want to know how to plan for home ownership? Okay. Where will you get the money to pay your children's college fee? That's expensive. Do you know how to go about that? Or do you want to be a better investor? How secure are your assets and your investments? Or do you want to use other people's money to create wealth? Do you want to be good at managing debt? And I say, if you have answered yes, at least twice, just twice you answered, then you're welcome to the masterclass, because I think that will be able to help you. Be ready to invest 4 hours every week for a 10-week period. It is a Tuesday evening and a Thursday evening. In fact, tonight you can come happily for free. And I think we have just about 5 slots. If you pick one of those 5 slots, we will actually do goal setting, and we will look at retirement planning. How do you set your goals for retirement planning? Again, you can just send a request to 0708 150 137. 0708 150 137. You get yourself a slot for that. But for now, those 5 traps should not catch you. Yeah. If anything else is going to catch you, not those 5, because we have had a good discussion. And I think for now, we get into that moment when we start saying Merry Christmas, because that's exactly where we are. We're saying Merry Christmas and have a prosperous 2025, because I suspect you're traveling. You might not even listen to us when we have the next show. Yeah. So I think it's been a good morning, and I'm hoping that is useful information, that is useful knowledge, that we will not get caught into those traps. Mark them. Don't forget them. They are very easy to remember. The first one we said, don't become a victim of impulse buying.
buying.
We said number 2, don't buy in a hurry. Yeah, just be ready to compare the shopping. We said number 3, avoid the shoppers nears. Don't be caught in those places, whatever they are in their shops. Okay. Number 4, pester power. Yeah, learn how to deal with pester power. And I think we've discussed all the ages. We do not discuss how to deal with your spouse. That's a different topic because that is what we call the battle of the genders in money. And I think that we can discuss another time because spouses also pressurize each other. Before you get into your spouse, let's think about dealing with peer influence, the pressure of others, the fear of missing out, or other people having an opinion. If you do those things, I think you're going to be better. I've asked you the questions, and I'm sure you have answered those questions. So if you need a chance, again, 0708 150 137. Somebody is waiting on the other side. They'll give you a chance. Today, we are looking at setting financial goals, including retirement planning, because next year is a critical year as we plan ahead. This year is gone. And we say the bad things of this year must stay in this year. So that when we go to the new year, we only have the good things. And one of the good things we can be deliberate in our financial life. Not reactionary, proactive. That we actually purpose what we want to do. God has put us on the face of the world on a purpose. Let's live that purpose.